GF wants to toss my salad. So my girlfriend admitted that her fantasy is to toss my salad the next time she sees me, but only if I was comfortable. I told her that I will think about it and get back to her. She agreed, telling me to not be stressed. It feels weird, but I kind of feel excited too. So has anyone any experience with this? Was it an enjoyable experience? What should I watch out for? Any tips for me? Lol, such a horrible term. Advice? Shower together beforehand and return the favor to her. After that, enjoy. Feels fucking brilliant. I cannot stress how much you should clean your asshole. As a bi woman, I tend to steer clear of men's assholes because the cleaning process just doesn't tend to match up. So scrub that shit, then scrub it again. If you're comfortable trimming up some hair or even shaving, might be a nice gesture. Up to you though, as long as it's clean. I came onto this thread thinking I would be joining a discussion about fridge etiquette at home. Well, how wrong I was, rolling on the floor laughing. Shower beforehand and just try to relax. There are a lot of nerve endings in that area and it feels surprisingly good. But if you really aren't comfortable with it, then it's okay to back out. Mew Brother's ex was seriously into it. She couldn't get enough of his bum, it was a total fetish for her. He enjoyed it a fair bit and they even admitted to putting Skittles, the sweets, into his butt and she'd eat them out from there. She stopped telling us about it when we started making fun of her for liking shittles. Okay, I'm confused, what does toss the salad mean? Deadpan face. Also known as the rusty trombone. If you're lucky enough to come across a woman that likes or loves doing as I do ATM, oh my, are you in for a treat. Just have a good shower and wash that salad for her and enjoy the experience. Make sure she has salad dressing. 23 male, my fiancés, 22 female, laziness is ruining our relationship. So we have been together for 5 years now, it wall all great till last year, when we moved in together. The first few months were pretty charming, then things started to get rough. I work HVAC, so it's not uncommon for me to leave at 6 a.m. and come home at 7 p.m. So I'm always tired when I get home. She doesn't have a job, and does almost nothing all day. In no way am I slave driver or anything, but if I'm working 12-hour days normally when she doesn't work, I would at the very least want a clean home to come home to. She doesn't cook, clean, make the bed, nothing. I'll give her credit, she does the laundry, but only when it piles up. So I come home from work and do dishes and clean the house, and go to bed. I don't have any free time at all. It's starting to ruin the relationship. This week I decided to do nothing at all when I got home, so she could see. We don't have any clean dishes or laundry at all. I've talked to her many times about this. Lovingly, respectfully and even authoritative. She doesn't want to change at all. What can I do before I'm at my end? Too long, did not read. Fiancé has no job, doesn't cook, clean or anything. Just wakes up at 1 p.m. and watches TV all day. Update. Thanks for all your input. I decided to have a final talk with her. I told her point blank exactly what I want from her, otherwise we can't last. She was extremely upset and said she would try. She offered to make dinner tonight, so let's see if she means it. I'm also looking into getting her evaluated for depression like a lot of you suggested. She's not a good partner. I'm not trying to trash talk her, she could be depressed or have other issues causing this. But regardless of what her issue is, she's not contributing anything to the relationship. You can't be the one carrying the whole relationship, you'll burn out. I'm also assuming that you're paying all of the rent, utilities, and food expenses. This is deeply unfair to you. When your lease is up, you should part ways. I think this is why a lot of people in the West are for living with someone before marriage, because you found out she would not make a good wife and life partner and you can dodge a bullet. So what does she actually do with her time? It doesn't sound like you have a fiancé, it sounds like you have an ungrateful dependent. I don't know why she's like this, maybe it's mental health, maybe she's just lazy, but why would you want to marry someone like this? Get the problem addressed before you do anything for the wedding. You break up. Why is this even a question? You aren't dating an adult. You are dating a spoiled child. Stop that. I am also a stay-at-home GF. My boyfriend works in construction and works from 7 a.m. 8 p.m. every day except Sundays. However, I clean our apartment and cook and do every single chore except for taking out the trash. He always has a good meal at the end of the day. Because of how much he works for us and does everything else for us, so she should definitely step up her game because what she's showing is not appreciating you at all. And also I'm depressed too, I go to therapy too. I got injured at work, had 2 surgery and continue to do all of this stuff, so don't let her manipulate you if she did say she's depressed. Because staying with someone like that will make you resentful towards her at some point. I hope it all works out. Lol, grow some balls and dump her ASRE. It will get worse if you marry. You are at your end. What are you actually getting out of this relationship? Time to move on. They don't change, I know from experience. Slightly frowning face. Tell her she needs to get a job and help pay the bills. If she doesn't like that, then break up. If she does it, then pay for housecleaning. I'm stuck with my girlfriend and I feel like I'm in hell. Throwaway account. Too long, did not read. 27 male. Recently moved in with my girlfriend, 26 female. And my life has turned into hell. She's always had a problem with my past and it's reached breaking point, and we wouldn't still be together if we didn't live in the same apartment. Me and my girlfriend have been together for around a year and a half. But recently we both moved across the country for her work. I got a job and we signed a short lease on a tiny apartment. We've been mostly good, but we fall out a lot about my past. The problem mostly revolves around past relationships and hookups, none of which I'm proud of. Until we got together I had low standards and she always resented that, and I acted the wrong way and lied about things because I didn't want to ruin things with her, and I know that was wrong, but I kept doing it, because it would always be brought up and held against me and ruined things, and I hated it. A few days ago whilst I was at work she went on my laptop. She looked through my Facebook and found things from when I was a teenager, exes and embarrassing things like sexting and all that gross immature stuff. I'd completely blocked it all from my memory because I hate that I used to be like that and I just wanted a fresh start with her. The past few days have been hell. Non-stop arguing and calling me a liar and saying how repulsed she is by me, and I don't know what to do. I feel absolutely sickened with how I used to be, which is why I'd blocked it all from my memory. I'd just been so desperate for a fresh start and to make a new life without her seeing me as this gross person, but no matter what I do and how much I try to be perfect to her, she will only see me as of the person I was from 15-20 and be angry at me for covering it up. I know that I should have been upfront about everything from the start, but I've seen how angry it makes her, how it's always used against me, and I desperately wanted to avoid that, and instead it's just made my relationship fail. She's hit me, called me the worst things, said she wishes I was dead, and at this point I wish I was. I'd really like some advice on how to fix this with her. I half want to break up, but I absolutely adore this girl, and I don't know anyone where I've moved and can't really afford to move. Thanks for reading if you did. She's hit me, called me the worst things, said she wishes I was dead. She's abusive. Even if you were honest and upfront about everything, she'd still be abusive. Your past has nothing to do with the present abuse. How trapped are you? You can get out of a lease if you explain to building management or your landlord that you want to leave. You say you love her. That's a damn shame because she hates you. You say you love her. But you don't. You love the idea of her, not the reality. What do I mean by that? You love some imaginary version of her, where she is not literally insane with irrational and unreasonable jealousy. But that person only ever existed in your head. You love some imaginary version of her, where she better. But that person will never exist. Break the lease and go your separate ways. You can't fix her irrational, unreasonable jealousy, because she has it so bad as to be mental illness. Next time don't move in with someone you already knew was unstable and difficult. She's immature and jealous to the point of being abusive. We all have a past. She's just angry you had the audacity of having fucked around with other girls before having have met her. I highly doubt she was a Daisy Fresh girl before meeting you, so her anger is irrational and unjustified. Tell her she can either get over it or get out. Be firm and tell her how much of a turnoff it is to see her acting this way. I've been reading your comments. In the space of a few weeks living together, she has utterly broken your mental health, destroyed your happiness, and made you feel utterly helpless and powerless. You cannot endure months of this. And she won't change because she is mentally ill. And now she hates you. She's going to quite deliberately make your life even more hellish. Even if you end up paying the rent still, and living on a park bench, you have to get out of this building. Find a way, but find it soon before you become suicidal. Her behavior is invasive and bizarre. Fixating over someone's past is pointless. But also, the level of shame you're exhibiting sounds almost as if she's got you slightly brainwashed. To me, sounds like you had some fun as so many other teenagers. So you lied to her or omitted some things. It's basically none of her business. We see a shit ton of posts on this sub from men that can't deal with the fact that their wives (GFs) had sex in their past. It's wrong when they do it and it's wrong when she does. Edit. And she's hit you? You sound like a battered man, emotionally and physically. Can you please explain why you adore this person? I'm assuming, by reading your post, that you haven't done anything to make her think you're messing about now and that her issue lies solely with your past. We either accept our partner's past and move forward, or we don't, and it's just brutal for however long it lasts. If we, as adults, were the same people we were as kids, teenagers, that would be a pretty pathetic state of affairs. The whole point of being younger is to make mistakes and learn from them. To prepare ourselves for adulthood. To grow up. The fact that your girlfriend isn't understanding all of this is deep-seated within her, and there's nothing you can do about it. I am willing to bet she has some skeletons in her closet too. No proposal after nearly 4.5 years. My fellow Redditors. Me, 27, F, and my boyfriend, 28, M, have been together for nearly 4.5 years now and have known each other much longer. I would say our relationship has been amazing for about 3.5 of those years. Early on in our relationship, about 1 year in, we've both talked about our futures and relationship expectations and both agreed that marriage is important to us. I made sure to make it clear that I am not a flashy person. I don't want an expensive ring, or an expensive, flashy wedding, etc. I know a lot of other couples' relationship strain can be from high material expectations. When we talked about our futures in the past, it was made clear we would get married when he finished his medical program. Fast forward to him finishing his medical program, over a year ago, still no engagement. I thought maybe he is just waiting to be done with residency and to secure a permanent position. Alas, that has been achieved as well, still no engagement. I have gotten very anxious over the last couple months and decided to bring up the conversation or marriage goals up again, a little over 3.5 years into the relationship at that point. He said that was still his end goal, but also mentioned he wasn't sure and needed more time to see more about our relationship. Since then I have slowly lost confidence, hope, and feel like I am wasting my time with someone that after 3.5 years of being together is still thinking. After that conversation I thought I would wait patiently and see what happens. Maybe he was planning a surprise? It's been over 8 months since then and I have still yet to be engaged. I'm getting to the point where it's hard for me to function and I have doubts about our future. If someone is still unsure about you after nearly 4.5 years of dating, is that a sign I need to move on? I've tried to understand why this is and am left with no answers. He doesn't have student loans, he has mentioned he has decent savings, etc. And I'm just left lost and confused why this relationship feels like it is falling apart and has run its course. Have I done something to make him so unsure? It's been so long and I have brought up my thoughts on marriage 2 more times since the 3.5-year talk and no longer feel excited about the prospect of getting engaged and married. I'm worried that this behavior will continue into our future together, potential issues, delays planning a wedding, making life decisions, etc. At this point I feel like a proposal, if it were to even happen, would be more of an event to keep me quiet and not because it's something he wants. I feel like I am not the one for him, even though I have dreamed of spending the rest of my life with him for a long time now. The love feels so one-sided. He has a handful of close friends that have gotten engaged and married in the last 2 years too. I have just started to think that I am not good enough and am strongly considering moving on. But I don't want to make a mistake. I don't know what to do and how to move past this or deal with my emotions. Can you people of Reddit please help and provide your insights on what I need to do? Are my feelings valid? Am I being impatient? Are my broken expectations unreasonable? Please help. Too long did not read. Nearly 4.5-year relationship. My marriage proposal expectation have been broken. I feel I am not good enough. What do I do? I think the line where he said, he wasn't sure and needed more time to see about our relationship, is really telling that he probably wants to get married but not to you. That's my thinking anyway. Like, if you've been with someone for nearly 5 years, what's there to see? Especially when you guys talked about your goals in year 1. Maybe he's thinking the grass and greener. I've been in a relationship for 10 years. He would always talk about us getting married and having a family. But he always waited for some better times. I decided to leave. It was a good decision. I think if 2 people want to be unmarried forever, that's fine. Clearly you want to be married though. He does not want to be married to you. If you want marriage, you need to find it with someone else. Also, I'd bet my life he will marry the next girlfriend quickly. That's how it usually happens. Be ready for that. Did he say what, specifically, was giving him pause about your relationship? Like, are there specific things you're each supposed to be working on? This would be reasonable to me if, say, You had a lot of debt you're working through, or if you're working on getting an addiction under control. But in absence of that, if he just vaguely isn't sure about the relationship, leave. It's been 4.5 years. He's probably not going to marry you, and even if he does, it'll feel like he was resigned to it, not that he was thrilled to marry you. You can propose lol. If he says no, there's your answer. Girl, why are you turning to Reddit? Why don't you have a real heart-to-heart talk with him? Lay all your cards out on the table, including your doubts and your dreams. That's the only way you're going to know where he stands. He said that was still his end goal, but also mentioned he wasn't sure and needed more time to see more about our relationship. That's a record scratch moment. I would have been like, hold up. Explain what you mean right there. What exactly are you unsure about? He said that was still his end goal, but also mentioned he wasn't sure and needed more time to see more about our relationship. He has effectively killed the relationship by not letting it progress to marriage. I don't really see how you would ever not resent him for this. I wouldn't even bother with an ultimatum. I think it's already over. He's wasting your time.